Dear students, welcome to this module. This module is on the etiquettes of the front office staff. When discussing the etiquettes, we need to differentiate well between the rules and the etiquettes. The rule requires the accurate knowledge and observance of situational demands, and an etiquette permits a great degree of ease and relaxation. In today's corporate world, it is increasingly becoming more important to know not only the rules and norms of good manners, but also the etiquette in one's own country, but also those of the foreign lands. This module will enable the learners to understand the etiquettes of front office staff in a hotel and compile the necessary aspects to grooming the staff while handling the guests. Its flag identifies every country. Hence, therefore, behavior is the flag of the individual human being. The more refined the behavior, the greater the respect from the observer. Here the observer is usually the guest. Its refinement is coupled with sincerity. The respect grows into love. Manners and etiquettes are not only the observance of social rituals and names, but essential to the very fiber of our relationships. This reveals our levels of thoughtfulness, consideration, kindness, generosity, and fairness. To a large extent, they make life more pleasant, easier to live, and much more beautiful. The observance of many rules of good manners also calls for tolerating the discomfort, sacrifice, and accommodation, and these qualities are recognized as contributing to the development of a strong and resilient personality, and all negatives into positives. Okay, now we will see the etiquettes of front office staff in detail. The basic and essential qualities of the front office staff are good manners and an outgoing personality, patience, courtesy, decision making, high sense of personal grooming, self-confidence, good communication, diplomacy, calmness, memory, smile, physical fitness, and personal hygiene. Now let us see each one of these in detail. Good manners and an outgoing personality. As the hotel is the meeting place of many social elite, good manners and politeness is an important etiquette of the front office staff. Good manners are those which shows the greatest sensitivity to other people and make them feel most at ease, and also avoids mistakes and make them feel smaller. At the heart of the good manners lies respect for other people and for their rights, as well as respect from oneself. Some people shy away from the good manners because it means that they have to learn the rules of etiquette, which are held to be the correct behavior by those who follow them. For example, take a soup. For example, it is good manners to consume soup in a way that is hot. Unsightedly for others, for example in Japan, this means it is a correct etiquette to drink it straight from the bowl, and in Europe it is correct to take soup up with the spoon. A little effort in the inquiry and practice of the etiquette brings not only the enterprise but also a great confidence. Countries and etiquettes enable the users, the guests, to deal with any situation and person with confidence and pleasantness. A response which denotes an appreciation shows the hospitality by the staff. Employees who are extroverts, and especially the front office staff, will enjoy meeting guests and make them feel happy and comfortable in all situations. The next etiquette is patience. Employee must possess a positive attitude always, even towards a constructive criticism, and must always prosper and progress the feeling that customer is always right, and we as staff at work should serve them with patience at all times. Guests must be allowed to express the needs and act in accordance to the facility available in the property, keeping in mind every guest is a very important person to the premise. Instead of reacting to a situation that requires time for the guest to think, allow time to the guest to absorb the information and then offer the solutions. This is also another important etiquette, which is courtesy. Courtesy is everything. It is the mark of civilization. It is the use, misuse or disuse of courtesy that indicates whether a person respects himself and others as human beings and not the values of respect, trust, dignity, honesty, compassion, sensitivity, openness and sincerity are all reflected in the countries we extend to people, whether they are our customers, colleagues, seniors or juniors in our team or in a family or in a nation. In fact, the foundation of good manners is laid at a home even when young. When a child says thank you, please to the members at home and others they meet, and this becomes a practice whenever they go on various purposes. Being courteous is expected very much at all places and especially in our services industries like the hospitality industry in hotels, and such as these hotels where different walks of guests stay for different purposes in the hotel property. And the next important etiquette of the front office staff is decision making. The staff must have a quick and a firm decision making skill for the customers because the customers are at the demands from the guests. The front office staff must tactfully handle the guest and act on behalf of the guest. Every day is a new experience and the guest will meet a varied type of guest with different needs. Staff should know how to solve the guest needs by themselves if possible and offer an immediate solution, and also sometimes consult with the superior in case if the decision making is complex and cannot be done by oneself and needs a guidance. The next important etiquette is high sense of personal grooming, especially in the service industry like hotels. Uniforms must be always clean and neatly ironed. Hair should be short and well combed. It is preferable to tie the hair up. Nails should be trimmed and manicured. A soft jewelry is restricted to one ring only and a necklace for ladies. The front office staff must be seen at their best at all times. Next important etiquette is being self-confident, that is self-confidence. This is necessary as front office personnel meets guests of different countries, status and culture. They should be made comfortable and feel at ease in dealing with these people as hotels are considered home away from home. Okay, now we will go to the next etiquette, which is good communication. Communication is a much important etiquette for all the hotel staff and especially the hotel staff at the front office operations. That is the front of the house operations where the guest meets the staff directly for all their needs and all phases of guest cycle from pre-arrival, arrival, stay and departure. It is preferable for all the staff to know more than one language, usually English, a foreign language and a regional language. If the hotel has more frequent overseas guests, it is better that the staff must be able to converse in one or two foreign languages too. And hence communication is a basic quality required for any staff in this field. Next etiquette is diplomacy. Being diplomatic is also a very essential etiquette of the front office staff. Diplomacy is the greatest attitude. Very often, there are situations when a guest is angry and specific about some specific needs. A diplomatic dealing by the staff here helps in diffusing even an explosive moment. It is quite common for a busy hotel to have the staff with diplomatic approach, as this is the only way by which the guest can be pacified and help them to move again. The other important etiquette is being calmness. It is to take the busy demands of the front office operation being the nerve center of the hotel. The front office is constantly in touch with guests and therefore invariably comes under tremendous pressure. The guest always expects a personalized and a priority service, and there is always much pressure on the staff, especially at this front desk. For this, the staff should always strike a balance in handling the situations to the guests. Okay, next etiquette is memory. An ability to remember names and their face is an important attribute and is a skill needed for the front office staff. Every individual guest feel very much personalized and have a sense of belongingness when they are addressed with their surname. Simple aspects such as preferences of the guest for newspapers in the rooms, special foods if any needed, can be known from the hotel diary and may be communicated to the guest to make the guest feel safe and secure and throw a positive feel of home away from home. Next important and essential etiquette is smile. A smile creates a new, good and a positive environment, especially when the guest is in our premises. This at the front office expresses and boosts up the environment of the hotel property as well. The front office staff should have a smile at all times and work and should be fresh as in the start of the duty and should never be tired even at the retiring hours of the duty. The guest feels comfortable to converse with a happy and a smiling staff rather than with a nervous and a sturdy staff at the desk. And as the saying goes, smiles shortens the distance between the souls. And this is true at the hotels and in specific at all service industries. Another important etiquette of the front office staff is being physically fit, that is, physical fitness. Good health and keeping the body fit by the staff is an essential etiquette for the front office staff. It is the duty of the front office staff to stand erect and keep working at the desk with files, guests and records. To the reality, there is no chair or seat at the front desk, especially at the reception. You all must have seen this on your visits to the hotels. There may be a short break taken by staff and resume back to the work after refreshed. The staff is active and alert at desk to help the guests for the various needs that he or she may require during the stay of the hotel. Personal hygiene is also an important etiquette of the staff. Personal hygiene is imperative to the front office staff as they are constantly exposed to the hotel guests. A clean appearance helps to project a good image not only of themselves but of the hotel as well. So these all becomes the etiquettes of the front office staff to boost up the work of the atmosphere. Now we will go on to the next section, which is managing the hospitality services at the front desk. The concept of hospitality, the generous and the cordial provision of services to the guest is at the heart of our industry. Hospitality is very important consideration for both the guest and the hotel. Providing hospitality to meet guest needs involves an array of services and make the stay comfortable. If the hotel has many business clients and corporate guests, the guests may arrive little late or little early they may leave, the hotel should always offer services such as the wake-up services, advanced telephone systems, fax machines, photocopying facilities and computers, good and healthy food whenever required, club facilities, lounges and other services which will make the business clientele untiresome. For all these services to the guest, most of the time, that is all round the clock for 24 hours, will help the front desk may be sought, and hence front desk should be ready for hospitality round the clock all days. Now we will see what are the roles of the front office staff. The front office staff has multiple roles to play standing at the front desk, with key roles as salesperson, problem solvers, reference point, coordinator and also an image builder to the organization. So though we have talked so much on the etiquettes of the front office staff, also the role of the front office staff, or as these multiple roles are also very much vital in the hotel. Now, though we have looked into the different etiquettes of the front office staff, the qualities that they require at work, we should be wondering to see the different multiple roles of the front desk person being at the different roles. And now we will see how the front office staff plays a role as a salesperson. The front desk staff motivates the guest with an alternative to select a service or facility provided by the hotel that is highly priced and spend more for the facility if the guest can offer for it. Also, provide information on the various services that the guest may use, such as a spa, gym, pool, cafe and so on. The guest can use the services and pay for it, and also this will increase the sales of the property. And also, apart from this, the front office staff also plays an important role as problem solver. The staff must be able to handle all the problems and complaints in a diplomatic way and offer solutions to pacify the guest and make them feel satisfied at the end. As the successful service industries always follow two golden rules. The first rule being every customer is right and the customer should be happy. And the second rule, interesting rule, is that following the first rule very much strictly. Another important role of the front office staff is a reference point. As the front desk is the most visible of all the departments, the front desk, their approach for all information, and the staff should guide effectively with correct and appropriate information. This would be possible only if the front office staff is knowledgeable and about all the products and services. This would be possible only if the front office staff is knowledgeable about all the products and services available in the property. Also, interestingly, another important role of the front office staff is being a coordinator. The front office department also coordinates with other departments to meet the requests by the guest and also offer a personalized service. They may contribute and coordinate with the food and beverage department for all services relating to food and beverages, and with the housekeeping department for all things services related to rooms, laundry, and also the engineering department for services and repairs of machines and equipments in the room and so on. Also, another important role of the front office staff is acting as an image builder. The everlasting impression taken by the guest is dependent on the front office staff and their effective multitasking role that all office staff play at this front office operation. It is good that the front office staff helps to maintain and boost the repute of the property among the guests by offering the best possible services to all the guests. Now we will move on to see the next section, which is the basic telephone etiquettes, the certain tips while the staff handles the guest on the telephone. The telephone offers its guests the opportunity to sell not only the rooms but also opportunity to sell the services and ideas, but also the prestige and reputation. Yes, it is used with great carelessness rather than with skill and the etiquette. The front office staff spends most of their time over the telephone and deals with the communications for the guest. This relies on the voice to convey very much subtle as well as with apparent messages to the guest. This takes off with the advantage at dropping off facial expressions, gestures and also the eye contact. This verbal communication is an art that can be learnt with interest and practice. Some of the points to be kept in mind while on a telephone are here. First one, be ready. Greet the guest with a welcome note and a good day. Keep a notepad and a pencil ready to note down where the important informations, and always record any documents as it may be kept for reference in case of any clarifications with important points. Just giving the name of the hotel and without a greeting does not enhance the image of the hotel. Good morning and the hotel name, how may I help you, are about a right term. If the tone is positive and demonstrate that the caller is welcomed, the use of hello by itself in a flat, short tone sounds could be unimpressive and indifferent at this form of formal communication, especially in the service industries where we always interact with the guest. The next aspect the telephone person should know is answer promptly. Attend the telephone as soon as possible, at least latest by the third ring, without allowing the guest to wait long. Use reflective phrases such as you said, you mentioned. Repeat with all important information such as name, numbers and spell back to check the accuracy. Do not allow the guest to wait for long. If immediate answer cannot be offered, request the guest for a time and get back to the guest in the shortest possible time. Also, another thing the person should know as a telephone handler is good knowledge on the property. The staff must be packed with all information about the products and services fully and accurately. All aspects comprising the job, both technical and non-technical. The location and functions of all the departments and important personnel therein, the history, facilities and services offered by the hotel should be known by the staff. Also, the other act that they should remember as a telephone handler is being responsible, that is, responsibility. Take care of every job to its logical conclusion and complete all tasks and help every caller, every guest and the call satisfied that you have done. For example, do not end with Mr. X, for example, the front office manager, when he is out of station and is not in his seat, but instead be responsible and complete the conversation by being more helpful and offer to take a message or number and pass on the information when the manager has resumed at desk after his break. Also, another important thing that the telephone handler should know is speaking clearly, that is, speak clear. As the voice is the only communication over telephone, do not get distracted with any other activities such as counting cash, documenting other informations while you are talking with the guest on phone. Also, there is another thing that we should know is being sincere. It is easy to identify an artificial talk as in person, so communicating to the guest in a natural way and clearly is also an important attribute for a telephone handler. Also, listening carefully is an important attribute to the handler. The important etiquette of the telephone operator is listen instead of talking. Be a perfect listener. Listen to the guest completely and allow the guest to converse on his own time and then serve with the required information from our side. Also, avoid communication pitfalls. That is, do not use company's jargon terms and abbreviations with the guests who may be unaware of these terms, as it does not impress them anyway, and waste of time leads to confusion and miscommunication, and also makes the guest annoyed on their side. Therefore, it is better to use common and known term to the guests. And finally, ending the call very much courteously. After all the information is conveyed to the guest, discuss if the guest need any further information, clarify all informations, and then end the call wishing for a pleasant day. So these are all certain things that we should know as a front office staff while handling our calls over a telephone. Now we will come to see the terms and aspects to know while handling guests in the hotel. For example, we'll have the list of terms like FIT, which means a free independent traveler. GIT, which means group inclusive tour, which mainly represents a group where number of guests are more than 15. These are usually considered as group inclusive tour. VIP means very important person who is known to be important on a national or a regional importance. For example, president of a country, prime ministers, ministers, all come under the term VIP. Next is CIP, commercially important person. So here these are the persons who are likely to bring a large amount of business to the hotel. These will be categorized as CIPs, which are commercially important persons. Also, another term that we should know here is SPAT, S-P-A-T, which means the special attention guest. Guests who visit our property may need special attention, especially those with some physical challenges, and these priorities must be added into our services. Also, free sale indicates that the rooms are available for sale. House count. House count represents number of rooms available in the room. Minus position. When a guest stays in the hotel, when guest expected exceeds the room available, then the hotel's position is minus position. Plus position. When rooms available exceeds the guest arrival, then the hotel's position becomes plus and we cannot make any further reservations. Sold out. When rooms are not available, then this term is sold out is used by the front office staff. Also, the other terms in reservations like walk-in. Guest who registers himself without a prior reservation is said as walk-in reservations. Wake call. A call given by the front office staff to wake a guest at the specified time given by the guest is termed as a wake call. And also, the hotel staff must know some terms related to rooms. For example, single room. Room with one normal sized single bed, and these types of rooms can accommodate one guest. Then, double room. Room with one double bed and can accommodate two guests. And twin room. Two separate single cots and can accommodate two guests. Triplet rooms, a twin room plus an extra bed, and these types of rooms can accommodate 3 guests. Studio rooms, these types of rooms will have one single bed and one sofa cum bed. And single suite, single rooms plus one living room will be there in these single suite rooms. And the double suite rooms, these type of rooms will have a double room and plus also one living room. These types of rooms and these terminologies should be known to the front office staff because the guest may ask for any of these types of rooms during reservations or during any part of stay in the hotel. Next, we will see the different types of plan. A plan is a package proposal of rooms and meals. This is termed the room tariff. The common plans in the hotel are EP, which is European plan, where it consists of the room tariff with room rent only. The next, continental plan. The room tariff is inclusive of room rent and breakfast. Modified American plan, MAP, which is room rent plus breakfast plus lunch or dinner, which is usually 2 meals. The next one is AP, which is American plan, which takes everything on the board to the customer, which includes the room rent plus all meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Now we will see certain terms related to room rates. Crib rate. This is applicable to children below 5 years. Extra bed. Generally, 1/4 of the room rate is charged for extra bed provided in the room. Airline rates. This is a contract rate which is fixed to the airlines and given a fixed discount for a certain period of time. Group rate. Special rate discounted to groups when the number of guests are more than 15 and 15. These terms will help the front office staff while dealing the guest and staff and should be aware of all these terminologies related to the guest services and hence rendering the services to the best possible manner. These are the aspects that you should know in this module. As a conclusion to this module, etiquettes of the front office staff. Service is a cheerful giving of attention. The front desk services are mostly intangible and perishable but leave a memorable experience to the guest. Every day is a new day with new guests, new services, offering a learning arena to the staff from the guest. Front office staff therefore sets the stage for a pleasant or an unpleasant visit to the guests. It is the best practice to offer the best possible services and offer a pleasant visit and enact a good communication link with the guest. Hope you got the inputs for this module. Good wishes and thank you.